The Alfa Romeo Tipo Bs are everywhere today. The 1935 Grand Prix de la Marne by Johannes Lacroix. Welcome to Grand Prix 80th anniversary. We're glad you're here for today's episode. 1935 Grand Prix de la Marne. If you're unfamiliar with this series, basically it's a series where I review Grand Prix races that happened exactly 80 years ago to the day. Last week was the Reims-Gueux Grand Prix, a race through the streets of Barcelona in Spain, which was surprisingly short. But today we come to the fast-paced Reims-Gueux racetrack for a Grand Prix in northern France, the Grand Prix of the Marne. This is the start of the racetrack there. Reims-Gueux was one of the fastest racetracks in Europe. There's not much other than pits, front straight, another turn, and then another turn, and that's it, really. And this track was used on public roads, as seen here. It just runs, so it goes through on that road there, and it just runs through. This is pretty much a countryside race. That's pretty much what it is. This means that this race will be fun. Oops. Oh, come on. This means that this race will be fun and very similar to the Avsrennen that happened in May. Yep, 2 heats in the final. Maserati's new V8 RI chassis was long awaited at this point and is now finally ready to make its debut with Philippe Tancelin. Let's see how this turns out. This new V8 RI Tipo. Guglielmo Cararoli was the only other Subalpina driver on the entry lists, as all other drivers were at the Valentino Grand Prix in Italy for the Torino circuit, really. He's driving the normal 6C34, but while doing some unofficial practice, he ran into traffic, so he ended up not being in the race. Yes, this is a Honda Civic. I just needed it for traffic. I can't stop! The crash fractured his foot, so he couldn't come. And just like last week, Scuderia and Ferrari were both here and in another race, the Valentino Grand Prix. Only 2 drivers are here today compared to 5 Ferrari drivers at Torino. Now, the drivers here today racing for Ferrari are French, but the drivers racing for Ferrari in Torino, or Valentino, are Italian. And we aren't going to see Nuvolari for a while, actually. In that race, I really had to include this, but in that race the Ferrari drivers were invincible. Top 5 in the end consisted of 4 Ferrari drivers. And also, if you remember from episodes 1 and 2, the Siena-Barbieri duel continues, and this time, Siena lasted longer. I told you I could make it. Now, I have looked into the future of Grand Prix racing, and they don't meet up too much anymore. So this thing won't happen a lot. You gotta pay lots of attention if it does. Anyway, back to the Marne. Bugatti's Jean-Pierre Emile and the Auto Union team did not show up. Well, if you've seen the past few episodes, you'll know why Auto Union isn't here. But Brian Lewis's Bugatti Type 59 was now the only Bugatti in the field. So Auto Union is at the Nürburgring, improving the reliability, and Brian Lewis is now forming the new Bugatti Team Britain with the Type 59. It's now for Heat 1, starting order. In row 1 is Philippe Tancelin, the Maserati V8 RI, his first adventure in it. Row 2 is René Dreyfus in his Alfa Romeo Tipo B, and things look pretty easy for him. And then third is Raymond Sommer in the same car as Dreyfus is, but only his is a car that is a private car, and his is blue as well. Is blue. So, yeah, this is his Alfa Romeo that he's going to be using a lot. In row 2, we have Albert Chambost, Maserati 8C. He's got nope. And then we also have Armand Giraud, a man driving a more sophisticated and advanced version of the 8C, the 8CM. Yes, there's this picture. Last but not least, we have Brian Lewis in the Bugatti Type 59. I'm the makeshift Bugatti works driver. Well, let's say the Bugatti Team Britain. So it seems in this heat there are only 2 drivers racing for teams. With Ferrari truly at their best today, it's a walk in the park for Dreyfus. Meanwhile, Attenslin comes second but struggled with traction in the new V8 RI. Oh, that's understeer. I'm going to need to spend some time here after the race. Yes, so Attenslin is having trouble with the traction there. And meanwhile, Dreyfus in his Alfa Romeo has no problem. No problem, goodbye. The Bugatti quote-unquote works driver, Brian Lewis, and Raymond Sommer in his blue Alfa Romeo were doing well enough to advance to the final. Yes, I think we're doing really well for them. And the honorable mentions for advancing are Armand Giraud and Albert Chambost. Now on to Heat 2. Starting order for row 1. We have Louis Chiron and his Alfa Romeo Tipo B. This should be pretty easy. And because René Dreyfus has done really well, so Louis Chiron will too. We've also got Marcel Leyu in the Maserati 8CM, only his is yellow. And if you've seen last episode, you might recognize where that came from. This one is for Via Padierna. Jose de Via Padierna owns this, and he's lending it to Leyu. And then we have Raf in the private-owned Alfa Romeo Tipo B. And he's got a creepy face. He's going to have to get over it. Oh, row 2. We've got Luigi Solfietti in the Maserati 8CM. There's no profile of him. And we've also got Charles Martin. Just like Brian Lewis. Both of them are from episode 3. Charles Martin, Bugatti Type 59. And joining Brian on the makeshift Bugatti team. And finally, we have Laszlo Hartmann, Maserati 8CM. Yes, the Hungarian. And once again, it's teams that come out on top. Because Ferrari's true challenge comes from Germany, Chiron does perfect in this heat, with Leyu behind him. Your car brings new colors. Thank you. Yes. Charles Martin and the other Type 59 Bugatti has kept it under control and will advance. The man from Hungary has done well enough too. Both Bugattis are in the final. Yes, the British Bugatti team from episode 3. Things have gone well this morning. So the main honorable mention is a man with a private Alfa Tipo B. Man with such a long name he's called Ruff, and the man with a creepy face. Also joining him is Luigi Solfietti. Oh, blast. So now here is the final and the starting order for it. In row 1, we've got the Ferrari drivers, René Dreyfus and Louis Chiron, and both in Alfa Romeo Tipo Bs. This will be a piece of cake. Just pretty much that's what they're predicting it to be. And then Felipe Tanzalan and the Maserati V8 RI. Let's improve that traction so we can catch up. In row 2, we've got Marcel Leyu, the Maserati 8CM, for Jose de Via Padierna, and Brian Lewis in his Bugatti Type 59. This isn't the best fielding position, but, oh well. He's a British driver, and he's definitely a great British driver. And the final row, in row 3, we've got Raymond Sommer in his private blue Alfa Romeo Tipo. And let's hear it for blue Alfa power. And here we have Charles Martin in the Bugatti Type 59. I've got your back, Brian. Yes, this will be definitely perfect. Charles Martin. And we have Laszlo Hartmann in the Maserati 8CM. The race begins. At the start, well, it seems pretty predictable, right? I mean, I knew this was a piece of cake. And then the Ferraris just zoom off into the distance while Etanselan tries his hardest to catch up, to keep up. Come on, Charles, let's catch up. And the British Bugatti team. Well, wait a minute. Etanselan's new Maserati has lost a position, lost a piston, just after the start, and that puts him out of the race. And that's unfortunate for Scuderia Subalpina. Oh dear. Yes, he's spun into a field with losing a piston while Dreyfus and Chiron press on, regardless. Well, there aren't many retirements other than that what Felipe Tansalon experienced. However, Ferrari has managed to lap the whole field. This is ridiculously easy. No, I've been lapped. No, it looks like Charles Martin has been lapped. Raymond Sommer had a slightly smaller engine than the Ferrari-owned Alfa Tipo Bs. However, he still managed to hold up against the likes of the British Bugatti and Leyu. Sometimes I surprise myself. Yes, you are a great driver, Raymond. We will see him a lot, and he's going to be one of the flagship drivers for France later. And now we've come to the end of the race. Absolutely nothing could stop Ferrari from twin domination. That really was easy. I mean, Dreyfus and Chiron, the French part of Ferrari, have done amazing, and they've managed to dominate the whole. Ferrari used an Alfa Romeo Tipo B P3, and so did Raymond Sommer, who came on podium as well. So that is an Alfa Romeo Tipo B 1, 2, 3 lock-off on podium. All three Tipo Bs come on the podium, just showing how superior the Tipo B is. Felipe Tansalon and some of the Subalpina team will stay here in the countryside of Gueux for the next week, improving on the problems with the new V8 RI Maserati chassis. This means that they've withdrawn from the Belgian Grand Prix. Attempt number 3 at fixing the traction. This is trying to make that turn there. So here's the finishing order of the Grand Prix de la Marne. So first is René Dreyfus, and in second is Louis Chiron, and they've done René Dreyfus 98.6 miles per hour is his average speed. Louis Chiron was 98.3. Raymond Sommer almost made 98, but was 97.7. And fourth was Marcel Leyu. Definitely did a really good job there in this Maserati. It's 97.3 miles an hour. And then fifth is Brian Lewis in this Bugatti, 96 miles an hour. And then in sixth, the last person who was able to pretty much keep up with the leading Alphas was Charles Martin, 96 miles an hour there. And seventh, Laszlo Hartmann. Oh, poor Laszlo. He was 2 laps down at the end at average speed of 92 miles an hour. And Felipe Tansalon had a piston problem. Thanks for watching today's episode of Grand Prix 80th Anniversary. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like or subscribe button or leave a comment, and I'll see you next week for Race 3 in the European Championship, the Belgian Grand Prix. Yes, we return to the highest organization in motorsports.